Let me tell you something most men will never hear from a woman's lips. Her deepest desires, the ones that actually make her obsess over you, she'll never say them out loud. Not because she doesn't want to, but because she can't. Because the moment a woman tells you what to do to get her, it no longer works. That's the paradox. So if you're waiting for her to explain what she craves, you've already lost. But today, we're pulling back the curtain. Let's break down 10 secret female desires that most men never notice. But once you do, you'll start seeing her behavior in a completely different way. This is not manipulation. This is awareness. And in the words of Marcus Aurelius, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So let's start thinking like a man who sees through illusions, a stoic, a strategist, a man she can't ignore. Let's get into it. Desire. 1. She craves a man she can emotionally surrender. To most women aren't looking for a man who's nice. They're looking for a man they can feel safe losing control around. She wants to surrender, but only to a man who feels more grounded than her chaos. If you collapse under her mood swings, if you get reactive when she tests you, she'll feel like she has to stay in control. And nothing kills her attraction faster than that. What she truly craves, a man who can look at her storm, stay calm, and say, "I'm not moved." That calmness, that emotional stillness, it's not passive, it's stoic strength. Desire. 2. She desires to feel chosen. Not chased. You think chasing her makes her feel special. Wrong. Chasing tells her you're just like every other guy. Eager, available, replaceable. What actually turns her on? Feeling chosen by a man who could have anyone, but sees something rare in her. When you slow down, when you don't rush to text her back, when your life is full and she's not the center of it, she doesn't feel ignored. She feels wanted by a man with options, and that's a completely different kind of power. Desire. 3. She wants to be seen beyond her beauty. Here's a truth very few men understand. A beautiful woman hears, "You're hot" all day, but almost no one sees her, the real her fears, her doubts, her hidden passions. So when a man can speak to the part of her that's not for show, when he notices the way she moves when she's relaxed, or how her eyes change when she talks about something she loves, that man becomes unforgettable. Because you're not validating her body, you're witnessing her soul, and that's rare. Desire. 4. She desires polarity, masculine versus feminine energy. A woman in her feminine doesn't want to lead. She wants to relax into her softness, her intuition, her emotion. But she can only do that when you step into your masculine. If you wait for her to decide everything, lead everything, feel everything, she'll eventually resent you. Not because you're a bad guy, but because you've reversed the polarity. What she craves is a man who says, "Follow me. I've got this." Not in a domineering way, but in a grounded, purpose-driven, directional way. That creates the spark she's been secretly starving for. Desire. 5. She wants you to be a mystery. Here's something that drives women crazy, and most men ruin it without realizing. Predictability. When she knows what you'll say, how you'll react, and what your next move is, she gets bored, fast. But a stoic man doesn't show all his cards. He doesn't over-explain, he doesn't overshare, and he doesn't need to be constantly understood. That mystery, that inner quietness, it makes her lean in, because the moment she thinks she's figured you out, she loses interest. But if she feels like there's more to uncover in you, she stays intrigued. Desire. 6. She desires non-sexual touch that builds tension. Here's the move that most men skip. They go straight for the obvious, the kiss, the bed, the endgame. But what she secretly craves is non-sexual intimacy that builds up the charge. Touch her lower back when you pass her in the kitchen, brush her arm when you laugh, hold eye contact. A little longer than necessary. These small acts say, "I'm in control of my desire." But it's there. That restraint, that deliberate tension, it melts her. Because now she's not just being desired, she's being led into that desire. Desire Psych 7. She wants to be silently protected. No woman will walk up to you and say, "Please protect me from the world." But every feminine woman feels safer when she's around a man who's quietly scanning the room. Not paranoid, not aggressive, just aware, present, grounded. She watches how you treat the waiter. She notices how you handle disrespect. She feels it when your energy says, "If something goes wrong, I'll handle it." That sense of unspoken security, that's primal, and she craves it more than your words. Desire 8. She craves a man who can say no. Without explaining, people pleasers get attention, but stoic men get respect. Why? Because a man who can say no without guilt, without justifying it, without folding under pressure, tells her something powerful. I live by my own code. When she tries to test your boundaries and you calmly refuse, she may pout, she may push, but underneath, she respects you more. Because you're not just strong with her, you're strong within yourself. Desire 9. She wants to feel like a woman. In your presence, this one is subtle, but it's massive. A woman doesn't just want to be around a man. She wants to feel like a woman around you, and that only happens when your energy commands masculine polarity. It's the way you walk, the way you pause before speaking, the way you lead without needing applause. When she's in your presence and feels herself soften, when she laughs more, plays more, feels more, she won't know why, but she'll want more of it, because feminine energy blossoms in the presence of true masculinity. Desire 10. She desires to be around a man who doesn't need. Her neediness kills desire. She doesn't want to be your emotional crutch. She doesn't want to be your therapist. She doesn't want to carry your self-worth. What she secretly wants, you need to be with a man who doesn't need her, but still chooses her. That kind of man is magnetic. He's building his mission. He's aligned with purpose. He's emotionally full, with or without her, and that's the man she wants to be part of. Not to complete him, but to complement him. So what do all these desires have in common? They're not loud, they're not obvious, and they're almost never spoken out loud because the feminine doesn't communicate in logic. It communicates in energy. She won't tell you what she needs. She'll test you to see if you already know, and the man who passes that test isn't chasing, isn't pleasing, isn't guessing. He's calm, he's present, he's leading with depth, not desperation. That is the stoic advantage. And when you step into that, she feels it, even if she doesn't understand why. If this video opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button so YouTube knows stoic men are rising. Subscribe for more unfiltered truths about women, power, and mastering your inner world. And remember, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be present. And that alone makes you rare. Until next time, stand firm, think clearly, and lead with quality.